High ratio financing to 90% makes a comeback. Folks, a program that policymakers scrapped in 2016 to refinance your home on insured mortgages to 90% is coming back, as the part-time finance minister announced this past week that she is allowing homeowners that want to build rental units can refinance up to 90% to a cap of $2 million. To all you followers, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share this post. Click the little bell icon to make sure you get all the posts as they're uploaded. When we hit 10,000 subscribers, we're going to have a few giveaways. So this is interesting. This liberal government that's on the brink of getting thrown out is throwing out a lot of gifts and programs to try to gain some voters in a favorable light to try to survive. And this one just doesn't hit the mark. So let's talk about this. They want to encourage existing homeowners to build rental units. Now, they are allowing folks that build purpose-built rentals by code, following all municipal frameworks, the ability to access up to 90% of the value of a home, up to $2 million. Now, they're going to get a 30-year amortization, they're going to access cheap money, and they are going to be deemed contractors. Now, building rental units is very complex. I've talked about it quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do some videos on showcasing the process and how complex they are. And I'm really concerned that the average person is going to be overwhelmed with the complexity and bureaucracy of getting these units built. Who's going to build these units? How are people going to come up with the soft costs associated with getting permits in place? The reality is that in order to get permits to build rental units, you have to go through a process with the local municipality. You need drawings, you need an architect, you have to go through zoning review to make sure that your property is the proper property that can have a rental unit. There are certain requirements if you're building laneways and garden suites that have to be met for emergency services. That's fire and emergency services to access those back units. And I think that this could be very misleading to a lot of Canadians to think that this is just carte blanche. The other big concern is, how are these units going to be evaluated? We've spoken to many appraisers on existing projects, and they don't necessarily give a dollar for dollar value on additional units that it takes to spend to build these things. The reality is a lot of appraisers are only giving back 65 to 75% of the construction costs into the value of these homes. So are we going to over leverage these homeowners and they're going to be debt slaves forever? One of the big concerns I have is, how will the lenders react to this program? You know, lenders will now have to manage the construction process. And having done a lot of construction financing for my clients, it's very cumbersome and it takes a lot of time and effort to manage the stages of construction. All the money's not advanced at once. It's advanced in stages. And how are lenders going to react to having to go out and do visits and make sure that these projects are being built on time for the amount of money being advanced? As much as it's leveraged to 90%, a lot of appraisers also have concerns about the valuation of these units. There's not a lot of comparables out in the marketplace to determine what garden suites and laneway suites are worth. And they're still working through how to value these things. And at this time, they're only giving 65 to 75% of the construction cost value to the property. So it's still a big question mark on how these things are going to be valued. The program still has a lot of details that are going to be announced in the next couple months. I think the devil's in the details. I truly believe This is another program that was probably put together on the back of a napkin. I think it's a Three Stooges approach to getting a program off and announced, because they're looking for a news clip. They're looking for something to talk about because the polling is just terrible. And I'm going to reserve my judgment, but as of now, I don't like it. I think it's got a lot of flaws and a lot of problems and a lot of loopholes for people to take advantage of rolling in debt into their refinanced quasi-rental unit and taking advantage of a program for something that's not actually going to happen. And folks, let's make something very clear. When you say that the property needs to be owner occupied or next of kin, that's a very loose reference to just calling it a full-blown out rental property. Let's call it what it is. It's a rental program. So folks, devil's in the details. We're going to drill down as we get more details. And in the meantime, I'm probably going to show you what a repurposed project looks like from start to finish, and you could judge for yourself if this is something anybody could do. Take care.